Welcome back to another epidose of these people that just keep eating meat and can't stop talking about it. Today I got Justin with me, I got Joe with me, and of course I'm Tom. So, what is our topic today, Justin?
Hey, our topic today is welcome back to the Meat Mosaic channel. My name is Justin. Please make sure you're hitting that like button, subscribing, leaving comments, sharing this with your friends and enemies and Emily's.
And
And
Emily.
in
Um, and see anemones. Make sure you're
Anemone.
leaving this on for all your friends and family. If you're leaving the house and you got a pet parrot, cat, dog, mongoose, dingo, whatever you got at the house, leave this on for them. Our content is absolutely fantastic for our furry friends and feathered friends and reptile friends and what have you. Um, and today's topic is there's some interesting food choices in the modern world. Things like almond quote unquote milk, macadamia milk, rice milk, to a little more abstract, say a product like Soylent, um, Beyond Impossible Burgers. I think I mixed up those two companies. It's Beyond Meat and Impossible Burger, um, as well as some fecal matter possibly, and one latest to join the I know you'd call it a Cronenberg of foods out there, cockroach milk. So yeah, these are all options. I know with the current administration, they're talking about banning high fructose corn syrup from Coca-Cola and Pepsi and whatnot. And although I support such actions in spirit, I'm not one to believe in government intervention. I believe in you should assist one another in learning about the food products or unfood products that you're eating and what that may or may not mean. And the more I learn about high fructose corn syrup, the more I'm like, people are like, oh, avoid high fructose. And I used to be one of those people, but then like take a big bite out of like a smoothie that has like acai, orange, banana, strawberry, blueberry. It's like you just made high fructose and like they'll put a tablespoon of honey in it, right?
Mhm.
And it's like you just made high fructose corn syrup basically in a smoothie, and now you're saying in this form it's healthy, but in the Coca-Cola form it's unhealthy. And I completely understand that there's probably other things about Coca-Cola that might be unhealthy. Um, but if you're harping on the high fructose corn syrup, it's all stuff that most people consume anyway. It's just somewhat more concentrated. Um, Anyway, that's getting a bit off topic, but Franken Foods, I think, is a good start of where we're at. Um, so one that I've actually drank before is Soylent. Soylent is a soy-based product with a bunch of fortified vitamins and what have you. They've got coffee flavors. You can find them at gas stations, 7-Elevens, what have
Really?
you. Oh yeah,
Yeah, you sent me that image or that link, and then
yeah,
I'd never heard of it before. And of course, I'm familiar with the movie. I don't know. Have you ever seen the really old movie Soylent Green?
yes, with Charleston Heston.
Yeah, and what's his name? The guy that was in the Poseidon Adventure. Um, oh, I can't remember his name. Never mind. God. Anyways, yeah. So, anyways, in the movie, the catch line at the end is "Soylent Green is people," because the guy
Oh,
realizes they're just taking all the dead bodies to the factory and turning it into food.
well, you're going home.
You're going home.
Yeah. And there's actually, yeah, product Soylent. I drank it once. I don't remember why, but so that's the funny thing about getting into other. diets, whether it's vegan, paleo, gluten-free, dairy-free, there's nothing in those diets that warn against like soy proteins. And we know, soy proteins are not as absorbable. A lot of people are allergic to soy. There could possibly some endocrine disruptor issues with soy as well. Plus, if you want to get really conspiratorial, the plastic itself that the container is in, um, you know, I try to avoid. I mean, I avoid a lot of things now, obviously, but soy is like top of my list to avoid.
Yeah.
Usually it's like GMO soy as well. Yeah, soy just I know soy personally seems to cause me some issues, definitely. Um, so yeah, Soylent, I drank it once. It was tasty. I mean, it's kind of like a sugary protein shake thing, but I didn't feel particularly healthy afterwards, and I think I got a horrible migraine like in the next day or something like that. But
Hmm.
anyway, plenty of Frankenfood options. I was at Costco earlier today, and there was something called like Nilly protein or something like that, and it's advertised as ultra filtered protein drink. It's like ultra filtered. What does that? What does that even mean? Like these marketing terms, right? So like one problem that I think we have is marketing terms, health terms, and like scientific terms, and these all can be confused, right? So like something like whoa, Tom just became an alien for some reason.
He would eat Frankenfoods.
Drink it. That's what happened.
Yeah.
That eye's a twitching. I don't know what. that,
The
There's a
side
bit of
effect
salt.
of
right.
Frankenfoods.
It's like an insult.
But I'm evolving.
Possibly. Um, there you go. That makes much more sense that you would become a robot in the future. I much more agree with that. Um, the I've completely lost my train of thought. Thank you. Uh, terribly distracted now. Awesome. Thank you. Joe, your turn.
Um, so what are we talking about? Just random foods that are out there.
Yeah, all the food replacements, the Frankenfoods,
Or the Franco foods like
cockroach milk, cricket protein,
yeah.
Soylent Green.
Yeah, I'm not really into like look, I've just been busy lately, so I haven't had a chance to look into any of that. But one thing that does fascinate me is the food that they seem to be eating in Asia. Um, you know, so yeah.
What are your thoughts on soy?
Um, yeah, look, I guess it's very popular amongst Tesla drivers. Um, just kidding. Uh, yeah, look, I don't eat it. I don't eat it. I think I read years ago that it can, basically, having too much soy will give you man boobs, estrogen. Is there any
Yeah.
truth in that, Tom and Justin?
Yeah, from what I understand, it does raise estrogen levels because,
It binds to it.
well, there's actual what they call phytoestrogens in the soy. So it's even though it's a plant molecule, it's so close to the human form that it has a hormonal effect. And I think one of the most damaging studies was done on baby formula for soy-based baby formula. Somebody determined it was bad for the development of the heart of male babies.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to look that study up. I haven't looked. I think we pulled it up in a video a while back. So I have to find it. But do you avoid soy, Joe?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I do avoid soy. Look, I try to avoid a lot of things. We don't have there's a high fructose corn syrup. It's not here. We don't
Oh,
have it
really?
here in Australia. Yeah. So that's one thing that we don't have to worry about. But yeah, I mean, look, reading labels is sort of, if it's not high fructose corn syrup, there's a whole heap of other garbage that they're putting in your food anyway. Stuff that you can't pronounce.
Have you ever seen cricket protein for sale in Australia?
I think a while ago I saw fried crickets. They were selling them in packets.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Again, who knows
Surprised.
what who knows what it's fried in? You know, it's all good that you're going to eat it, but if it's fried in
Soybean
seed
oil?
oil, yeah, or yeah, seed oils, it's not going to be very good for you.
Well, let me share some real quick. This is something that Justin already alluded to. You guys see that? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Japanese scientists synthesize meat from human feces.
Well, you know, at least you know it's going to be nice and tender.
Right?
Cut it with your fork.
Yeah, so I mean, this is for real, and I realize there's probably a lot of feces to get rid of, but I'm not sure I want to get rid of it by eating it.
Well, you know, I think Japan just has had trouble since 1942. Just throw that out there.
Yeah. And then when I was trying to look up, I was looking up like how do they make cricket protein, and of course there's apparently a lot of it on the market because it was hard to find something that wasn't an ad. Right. I was just looking for an objective sort of explanation. So this one's here at the Cleveland Clinic. So I don't know. I don't really want to eat crickets, but if you want to read about it, here you go. And I get it. If people eat crickets as a delicacy, you know, it's a snack or something. More power to them. But I pretty much would think that trying to use it as a replacement for actual animal meat is not a good thing.
Okay, so I've just brought this up on my phone, on my back phone, and the question is cricket protein powder healthy? And the reply is, and of course it's from mightycricket.com, so it's a bit of bias there, I suspect, but it does say cricket, and not cricket that we play here in Australia, cricket, the creature, is a great source of complete protein that exceeds the amount of protein found in beef, chicken, pork, and fish. It also contains 9 essential amino acids necessary for muscle growth and the entire metabolic process. Right. I think I'd rather eat a steak.
Well, it might have a higher protein count, but the thing about beef and presumably something like mammoth meat was it wasn't just protein made from real amino acids. They're there in the right ratio, along with a bunch of other nutrients and stuff like the minerals and stuff like that. You know, zinc, and copper, and all that stuff that we need. So, is a cricket going to have that? And if I'm not mistaken, there is a protein that's in that makes up the exoskeleton of the crickets. That is also the same protein in shellfish that who are allergic to shellfish are allergic to. So some people probably should need it because they're probably going to have an allergic reaction.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and they have that, what's it called? Chillin. There's that other chemical in it that causes, yeah, that gets people like really ill too. And it's really low fat. There's basically no fat in insect proteins. So, and you know, without that fat, your body has a really hard time also. So there's just right off the bat a few reasons why beef is superior to cricket
But I have
Or
a
bug
solution for
protein.
that.
And I think if you consume too much cricket protein, you might be a little bit jumpy.
Yeah, so since the cricket protein is so low in fat, what you need to do is blend it with some cockroach milk, which apparently is a real thing. They actually, it says harvest protein rich crystals from the midgut of the female Diploptera punctata cockroaches. Well, it says it's protein rich, doesn't say it's fat rich, so maybe that won't work. What do you think?
Yeah, possibly.
Can you say that again, Tom? I like hearing you try and pronounce it.
Diploptera punctata cockroaches,
Okay.
but only the females.
A species known for giving birth to live. They do live birth. That's
Yeah.
kind of crazy.
Look, guys, cricket powder, cricket protein is quite expensive.
Really?
I'd rather, well, here it is anyway, but I would rather go and buy myself a bloody steak and eat the thing.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's just so much better for you than eating crickets.
Gotcha. So how you guys feel about lab grown meat?
No, you can stick that one up your ass as well. I mean, it's garbage. No, it's not natural. You know what I mean? It's still, it's terrible.
Hey, don't knock it till you try it, Joe. Come on now. You're a chef.
Yeah, but listen, they tried with was it Impossible Burger, Impossible Sausages, whatever the hell it was, and that didn't do too well, did it?
No.
Yeah. So I mean, lab grown meat will be a fad for about a year, and then when everyone starts to have deficiencies, they're going to go, yeah, okay, and then the company goes bankrupt.
Right.
See, but that's why you've got to take your cricket powder, your lab-grown meat, your cockroach milk, your almond milk. See, you just gotta take everything
And blend it with some pea
and
protein.
blend it. Yeah, and blend it with some pea protein that has some heavy metals in it for sure.
And soy milk.
And soy. Yes.
So what you're saying, Joe, is you'd really prefer to eat meat?
100%. You can't beat it. Oh wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah, Joe made that.
Yeah, I made that.
Came out really good.
That's actually, I cut the fat off the meat, and with some shapes, some cutters, I was able to cut out meat mosaic, and I put that on top of sirloin steak or New York strip, and that's how I got that effect.
Did you get it from Norm?
Of course, only the best. Yeah, only the best, mate. But yeah, look, I again, guys, I just think that there's no substitution for real meat. And when I say real meat, I'm not just talking beef. I'm talking lamb, chicken, pork, seafood. Seafood being fish, mussels, oysters. There's no substitute for it.
Right.
Yeah, and again, you can have it. What would be the long-term effect on your health?
Yeah, I don't understand all this. I mean, first of all, if you're going to make some sort of food out of plants or crickets or cockroaches, why do you try and copy something? That is it because people aren't going to like the things that we naturally are nourished by, you know? You got all your fake milks, right?
Right.
You got your fake flour made from things like cockroaches and almonds, and I guess they make it out of coconut. They make coconut flour, right?
Right.
And I'm not saying people should eat anything made out of flour, but they just have to imitate something that people already like, right?
Yeah, definitely. And I think a part of it, so we know one part is this, the quote unquote environmental cost of meat, which is for a different video. But the other part is, other people being allergic to other foods, not meat particularly, but like, the processed corn, the subsidized corn, and some of the wheat, Tom's talked about folic acid and the folate that's quote unquote enriched in all the mini breads. And so, yeah, people are having a problem, but the agricultural industry is so huge, and there's enough different plants to go around that they can make something different if one of their products doesn't sell or some other chemical concoction. And so, they don't want to get rid of those profits. um when smoking became a big problem, they came out with quote unquote light cigarettes, right?
Yeah.
But then people just ended up smoking like more of the light cigarettes than like a regular pack of cigarettes, and it wasn't really helping people. So it's all just the same tricks, the profiting off of products, um, and just they want to keep that money rolling in, which isn't a crime in and of itself. But I think it's about being a savvy consumer. And with some of this stuff, no, there isn't good data on the effects, but I would say the data on the other side of what works is pretty robust. What the body needs, what we've eaten in the past is pretty robust. And so introducing these new products to, your digestive system is 3 to 4 million years old. Once it's developed, and it really doesn't adjust too much. Could it? Yeah, but at what cost?
It
Um,
adjusts, but it doesn't lend itself to good health and longevity.
right. It can't like overhaul to adjust to something new without, again, these deficiencies and other issues. So eat what's good for your digestive system, eat what's good for your mitochondria. And I think our bodies at a cellular level are very smart. And I think when you ingest these things, I think it confuses it, it inflames it. It's going to try to expel it as soon as possible. Um, that's my opinion. There's people that say they bodybuild on plant proteins, but many of those stories, they're having eggs on the side and bacon or something, or like a burger.
Or it
Um,
doesn't last.
right,
But
or they do it for a year or something.
I was going to say, I mean, you never hear anyone talk about lab grown bananas or lab grown apples,
Right.
but yet
Well,
they're all
what we
have.
have is kind of that already. I mean, you know,
And as I like to point out, none of the stuff in the produce section was evolved to be what it is naturally. Everything in there was tinkered with by human beings to make it sweeter, have fewer seeds, less bitter, and so on and so forth. Like we were saying, you can't eat an olive off a tree. It's too bitter, right? The original bananas were tiny and full of seeds and not as sweet. Same thing with watermelon and carrots. Carrots were just roots, just a regular old brown root. Kind of tasted good, but it was a fraction of the size that it is now. And it was just a brown root you pulled out of the ground.
So I mean, I was just thinking, instead of turning that feces into meat, why don't they turn it into a chocolate bar? It's the same color.
Yeah.
You
less
know?
of a step.
Yeah.
Yeah, just make candy bars out of cockroach milk, crickets, and feces.
Feces. There you go.
Yeah.
Snap, crackle, pop. Disgusting.
And I know it comes up in some circles that, we're being ethnocentric, meaning that, oh, we're Englishmen. We all are from English culture. And, we are disparaging cultures that eat bugs or, many places in Asia, the Middle East, eating scorpions, spiders, that there are delicacies in other parts of the world.
Sure.
But many of that comes from them not having access to meat and being, quote unquote poor countries. And they would much rather eat the steak. I mean, I'm sure they could cook it up very well, but it's not like something that can be marketed, and there's like blood worms and things, all different kinds of stuff, right?
Right.
And that's not hugely marketed. Whereas you look at something like the Japanese sushi industry, right, which is huge because everyone loves fish. Everyone that can eat it without having an issue.
Sashimi.
Everyone loves those, yeah, sashimi, all over the world. Whereas the eating of scorpions and different uh, grubs and things like that is really not market. It doesn't sell. People just genuinely don't have an interest, and I think do have a natural disgust because um, it's not for us. We didn't evolve eating a lot of bugs. Now I'm sure many humans have eaten quite a few bugs during lean times, but we're not.
Sure.
Hopefully, not to have that kind of lean time again. Um, Now, is it something I would probably do once, like eating a tarantula? Yeah, I'd probably do it once, just for the cool factor, the interesting factor. A scorpion. Yeah, I'd probably eat one once.
I've got
But
some of those lollipops with the scorpions in them laying around somewhere. I never ate it,
from
but I saw it.
Mexico, yeah.
Well, I was just thinking, I have eaten bugs. Plenty of them when I used to go cycling. I'd go down the hill and bugs swallow the bloody things.
So, real quick opinion. Who wins the fight between the dingo and the kangaroo?
The kangaroo all day long.
And then which one would you rather eat?
Well, I've eaten a kangaroo. I've eaten kangaroo. I don't know. Well, let me ask you guys a question. Would you ever try dog? Not hot dogs.
Yeah,
Dog.
yeah, I'd eat
I,
dog.
I couldn't do it. No.
Yeah, because they're just pets to me, and it's like even a wild dog like a wolf or a coyote, it's kind of like they're in the pet zone still, even though they'd probably eat my pets,
Mhm.
possibly me. But I don't think I could do it. I don't think I'd want to do it. So, I mean, if I was
During
really,
lean
really hungry, I
times.
would. Yeah. If I was starving, of course I would. But would want to. So, Joe,
Well,
how much would it take to get you to eat dog meat?
To eat what?
Dog meat.
Oh no. Look, if I was starving, then possibly. But I've seen some videos. I will say I've seen some videos on the gram where they've cooked up a dog,
Yeah.
and the dog has crispy skin like pork.
Yep. I've seen it too.
Yeah, I think I sent it to you.
No, you probably did.
Yeah, with all the
Thanks
other
for the
things. on it.
nightmare.
Yeah, but
Some things you can't unsee.
yeah,
well,
and it
in
was like,
China, they have the dog eating festival in China.
Yeah.
that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, they eat dogs in a lot of countries, and of course, was it Argentina or somebody?
Philippines, Korea, it's
Oh,
a
yeah.
delicacy. Philippines, but then you got all the look. I'm sure they eat it in places like Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand. I mean, not everyone can afford beef,
Sure.
so that's
And
the next best thing.
ancient Mexico, human heart was quite popular. Ancient Mexico, Latin America.
Well, I think one of the Central American, South American countries, when they're going through a terrible economic downturn, like all the cats and dogs disappeared. So I think we can all understand that. Happens, right?
Right.
You gotta do what you got to
Yeah.
do. I mean, I know
Yeah.
people that eat raccoon, not regularly, but
Have you seen that guy? Have you seen far out? I can't remember his handle on Instagram where he will cook raccoon stew, python stew.
yeah,
Have you seen it? That dude, and he's got that
yeah,
massive
pot,
yeah, it's like a
cauldron.
brat pan where he lowers the grill into the oil,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and he cooks everything. Like he'll smoke a python for 12 hours and he eats it, and fuck, that's full on.
Now
That's
python would be great. I would eat some python. That'd be great.
Yeah,
that's called Florida cuisine.
yeah, that,
Alligator, python, yeah.
yeah. I mean, you'd have to cook it in. Look, I've seen videos where in some countries they're breeding monster rats to eat them.
Well, there's a Caton rat, which is really big, and they're eaten regularly in some places.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Oh man,
it's
what's
pretty big
the?
though.
It's like a hamster or kind of like another marsupial that people will breed. I think in like Papua New Guinea or something. What are they called? Um, the guy that used to have, what was it, Primal Edge Health, he breeded them and I think ate them.
Guinea pigs, maybe
He is kind of a guinea pig, yeah, but I can't remember the name of them
cuy.
though.
Cuy,
Yeah,
cuy
yeah,
is popular in Peru, isn't it? Or Chile?
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So I
Yeah, big.
think I think they come from there, and people eat them forever. Because remember that lady we talked to lived in Spain?
Yeah.
Yeah, and she had guinea pigs that she raised for food, and the neighbor's dog got in there and killed them all. She was upset for that.
But she ate the
Yeah.
dog.
She probably would have. She was bad enough.
Lassie, come here, Lassie.
Well, just back to the bugs thing, right? I mean, people love their sea bugs though. So like lobster, crab, those are bugs, people. They are bugs.
They are, and they're willing to pay a fortune for it.
Right, yeah.
Here's a picture of a guy on Wikipedia holding a cane rat to get some idea how big they are.
Yeah, that's
What the hell?
Yeah.
I was going to say something, but I was worried we'll get demonetized.
Yeah. So they're a big animal, so I can see they probably are easy to raise. So I can see that as food.
And eating octopus. Octopus is really good. Squid is good.
Yeah, I love octopus. I like it a little more
Yeah.
than squid, but squid's all right.
It kind of depends in the dish.
Well, and here, octopus at least is something you can actually just jump in the water and catch. So
unless you're in Australia and it's a blue-ringed octopus,
right,
then you're in trouble. You guys got them over there?
I don't think we have blue ring now. I don't
No.
know the names of the ones we have here, but the ones we have here are not dangerous. And some of the giant squids are dangerous. Like it's that one. Anyways, they're big and they try and eat you. But to be humane, I mean, if you're going to harvest an octopus, this is how you're supposed to do it. You catch it in the water, and you're supposed to bite through its eye into its brain to kill it, so it doesn't suffer when you pull it out of the water.
Mm-hmm.
So that's part of the deal, apparently.
Couldn't you just harpoon? Do you necessarily have to bite it?
Well, you could probably stab it if you have a knife or something to the eye, but traditionally they just bite through it because you can hack a limb off and then it's still alive, right?
Yeah.
And then you pull it out of the water, and it's apparent that I don't know how much an octopus suffers, but and they are kind of cool. They are very different genetically than everything else on the planet. They're very old.
And they are suspicious that if humans go away, the next animal to walk on land and kind of evolve would be an octopus.
Yeah.
that's suspected. Yeah. Well, because they basically have thumbs. They could walk. They just need lungs. It's pretty much all that's stopping them.
All right. So the octopus or the squid I was trying to think of was called a Humboldt.
Hmm.
So they're like 6 feet long and 100 pounds. And I remember reading a story in these divers, they didn't know what they were. And I think they have some sort of bioluminescence.
Okay.
And they saw him in the water, and one of them grabbed a guy by the head and tried to bite him, but it was biting his mask. And it finally gave up because it couldn't bite through the mask. So
Did you guys see that video I sent you? By the way, just a bit off topic here. The stonefish that we have here in Australia.
yeah,
Yeah,
those guys are out in the water, find them in the mud.
They're the most venomous fish in the world in Australia, with everything else.
So I found a picture on CNET of a Humboldt, so you guys can see what it looks like. I've never seen a live one. I just read about it that one time. So imagine that's 6 feet long and weighs 100 pounds.
Oh wow!
Crazy looking, huh?
Interesting sea life for sure.
You know, and there's so much down there that we don't even know about. You know,
Yeah.
there's probably a giant octopus out there, and you know, it's you know, the giant squid. Who knows how big they really are? Monsters down there.
Yeah, every once in a while they catch one in a net or it washes up dead. Yeah, there's been submarines that giant squid have latched onto and actually left they have like spikes on their suckers. They're like teeth or like shark's teeth. So when it grabs something, you know, it holds on. And they've actually found those embedded in the material on the outside of submarines.
Bring up a photo, Tom, while you're at it.
What's that?
Bring up a photo. See if you can find a photo. I'd be curious to see it.
Your wish is my command. Can you see the little spikes?
Yeah, but they've seen them on the side of submarines.
Yeah, it was embedded in like a rubber seal or something on the outside of a submarine. I'll have to look and see if I can find that.
It's crazy.
What about a sea cow? Those what are they called? A dugong, right? I feel like
They're in there's an abundance of them. I don't know if there's an abundance of them. St. John's River in Florida.
right. Yeah.
Like a hippopotamus without bloody feet.
Those are some weird animals.
Yeah.
I found a video of a giant squid attacking a submarine. And apparently some of the small research submarines have been swarmed by those Humboldt squid.
Oh.
But I didn't find a picture, but there is a video on YouTube that I'm looking at. See, trying to find a good frame to show. It just says rare footage of a giant squid attacking a submarine. So, yeah, I don't see a good picture. I mean, there's some video footage of them. I don't know if I could share that without getting in trouble. Yeah. I could try and put the link in the show notes. So you guys heard about any other Franken foods that are coming up?
No. No, I haven't heard of anything. Although I did come across a YouTube video about the Agori, the Indian Agori. that eat. They're cannibals. So they sit at the Ganges and will eat. They'll retrieve bodies from the Ganges and eat them.
Nice.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it's
Ugh,
pretty.
out of the Ganges. That's pretty gnarly.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and some people actually drink the water out of the Ganges because I think it's good for them.
Holy.
The
Right.
only time you would drink that, yeah, holy. The only time you drink that is if you're constipated, and it fucking that'll block you straight away.
Yeah, and you might expire soon after as well. I don't know. There's generations of people that live off of it. So
Apparently, the Agori also eat feces.
There you go. They're one step ahead of the Yeah, that's them there. Wow.
Yeah, so this is from the Times of India,
And that
IndianTimes.com.
and that so that's actually ash that they cover themselves with from the when they cremate the bodies, they go and get the ash and they'll cover themselves.
Mm.
Yeah.
Kind of a death cult kind of thing.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, I think they take a fair few drugs as well. And you'd have to.
Doesn't sound like a diet I'm going for anytime soon.
No. No. No.
Are we keeping you up, Justin?
I think you guys keep me up past
So
my bedtime.
it's almost 3:00 here on Sunday. So
Yeah, so we wrap it up then, boys.
yeah,
Sounds like a plan.
yeah.
Didn't they ban lab grown meat in Australia?
Didn't they ban it?
Yeah.
No, I know that Italy banned it.
Italy
Yeah.
banned it. They banned
Yeah,
it in Florida and one other state.
Yeah, no. It will never happen here because our agriculture is too big. It's massive over here.
So you don't think lab grown meat will become a thing there?
No, never.
I don't
It
know if
might
you get
become.
bad enough fire, you guys just can't grow anything for a while.
Well, look, as I said, I haven't. There used to be sections in the grocery store and the supermarket
Mm.
where you'd have all these synthetic meats, sausages and burgers and all that kind of stuff, and but yeah, you don't see it. You don't really see it anymore. So as I said, it would be a fad. It would be something that would be very popular, and then you'd never see it again.
Gotcha. Well, hopefully we get back to regenerative animal husbandry and get nice, healthy, fresh meat on the market to replace all the Franken foods they're coming up with.
I mean, I go to my just quickly. I know Justin needs to go to bed, but I go to the local grocery store, and they're always running out of meat, but they
Really?
never run out. Yeah, always. But you don't. But they're never running out of fruit and veg. Fruit and veg.
Really?
Yep.
So they've run out of meat, huh?
Yep. And this is Australia, one of the biggest in the world when it comes to meat, producers of meat. Anyway. All right, gents.
Well, we want to thank everybody for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Send links to videos to all your friends and enemies.
Emily's.
And Emily's, all your Emily's. And oh boy, having a technical issue over here. Whatever you do, don't fall
Down the carb hole. The cockroach milk hole. Hole. Hole.
Well,
Hole.